Hear that, fools? Big T here, back with another video, and this one is gonna be a rant. As you can tell from the title of the video, this is just me talking about how YouTube rewards frauds. Rewards frauding, and it's all about, I guess it's all about that algorithm that YouTube, you know how it goes. All right, so back in the day, there was a certain YouTuber who I used to spar with back and forth a few times, and one of his big things was talking about frauds, and I kind of didn't pay a whole lot of attention to it. Didn't think it, think too much of it at the time. I just thought it was him being callous towards other gamers, and it was just this kind of way to dig other gamers. But now I'm kind of agreeing. I'm kind of agreeing with that line of thinking that there's a lot of frauding going on, just in YouTube in general. You've seen bigger YouTubers kind of been taking themselves down by saying stupid crap. But I'm in the gaming sphere, if you will. So in that world, there's a ton of frauding, and I think most of it came along with the whole kind of news-tuber emergence. That is, guys who kind of read the news and, I guess talk about it or give you their opinion on it. There's a lot of, success coming from that. Now, there's nothing wrong with reading the news and being a news tuber. I'm talking about frauding about it. Like, there's some guys who want to have a take on everything that happens, and the average normal person doesn't have a opinion on everything. Again, we're going to keep it as far as gaming. So the average gamer doesn't have an opinion on every game, but in order to be a news tuber, you have to have knowledge about everything, and even if you have to create that knowledge. And so I've seen, and I'm not going to really name names in this video, because people will just say you're spreading drama, and it really is it is about a lot of different people I've seen, and people will say you're spreading drama, you're clout chasing or whatever. So that's why I'm going to just not do that. We're going to do it in old school 90s hip hop subliminal diss style, just subliminal diss track. But I guess if I'm forced to name names, I'll do that. I'm not afraid to do it. It's just that I don't want to create drama. So what was I saying? Yeah, there's a lot of guys that just, they have to pretend that they've touched every franchise ever created in gaming. And I don't feel like you have to do that, but I feel like they feel like they have to do it. So, there'll be some news about a new game or a franchise coming back or whatever, and these guys will pretend that they have some kind of experience with these franchises or these games, and I just don't understand it. Like, you can talk about something and say, well, I don't know much about that, and move on. You don't really have to do that. Like, you can talk about things you know about, and every gamer who's watching you, I guess it's the need or the feeling that you have to be able to appeal to everybody, even if you don't naturally. And I don't understand that way. I mean, I guess it's the commercialization of YouTube. It's that kind of, going away from that kind of personalization that we used to have more often on YouTube to now the commercialization of it. So you have these guys that are like really trying to be professional, if you will, and just come off being really inauthentic. So I was watching a video, kind of got brought to light to me by one of my Juice Crew associates, clocked it, and it was about like a Dreamcast Mini, what we would like to see, or what games would you like to see to it. And there was just so much frauding in this video. And this person this guy who covers Dreamcast sometimes was saying just these weird things about how he wanted these games to come to, like, be ported to new systems, or obviously to a Dreamcast Mini or something, and they've never been ported before. And I'm like, game after game, this guy was mentioning had been ported to other systems, and it was just like, guy, this is what you're about. How do you not know? This is supposed to be what you're about. How do you not know about these games being on other systems? And it's just like, we live in an era where you can just easily go to Google. Like, even if you don't know, you can fraud and kind of get away with it sometimes, but just going to Google. Google will help you out a lot. And so on top of frauding, there's this layer of laziness. And I've seen it in many channels where a guy will just turn the camera on and just start talking about stuff. He has no idea what he's talking about. And it's just like so obvious. And it's like, dude, you don't know what you're talking about. Stop talking about these things. Stop frauding. And I just don't understand I guess I understand it because, like I said, you get rewarded for it on YouTube when you just make shit up regularly, and you get rewarded for it. And sure, some people will call you out, but there'll be way more defense because people like you. There'll be way more defenses of your frauding than there will be of people calling you out. And it's just the strangest situation. It's just strange to me. What happened to, like, merit-based media? Like, I mean, there should be a cause and effect. There should be, you should be held to account when you are just completely lying or being lazy or whatever. There should be consequences for it. It just seems like there's no consequences today for it. Today you get a platinum or gold plaque for YouTube. It's crazy to me. And I just don't understand why a grown man of 30s or 40s years of age would need to be, like, pretending to have this knowledge of video games. Like, this knowledge beyond his actual knowledge of video games. Like, I'm pretty knowledgeable. Like, I try to share that in videos, authentic ones, and sometimes I'll get little details wrong, but I try to, I don't try to research stuff too much. I mean, obviously dates and all that stuff is what matters, but just my experience. I don't try to research the experience. I try to go off of memory of my experience of it, because then you're just sharing somebody else's experience, and that happens a lot, where it's just like, that's not how you really felt playing the game. If you even played the game, you're just going off of somebody else's experience. Let me brush up on the history of this game. Well, not the history of the game, because that stuff, facts are important, but I mean, like, experience with the game. Let me brush up on that and use basically somebody else's experience to act like I played this game, or I know about this game, or I even care about these franchises. Now, I understand reading news and talking about news, that's relevant, but then trying to do your opinion piece to it and pretend that you have some history with the game that you clearly don't know anything about or care about, I just find that strange. And here's the thing, people will get more mad at me for pointing this stuff out than they will at the actual people who are frauding. And that is just like, yeah, they will literally get mad at me for just telling the truth about these people. And it's very odd and sad, and I wish it wasn't that way. Partially because I can't get any traction doing what I do, and it's just like, fake it till you make it. Like that's a virtue now. Fake it till you make it. And it's just, it's not only that. I mean, there's other factors that lead into how how my success is, if you will, on YouTube. But I'm just looking around and I'm watching these guys that I know are frauds, are frauding, and they're getting rewarded for it, and it's annoying. It's certainly annoying. And because there's just so many channels. Like even now, I don't know how they continue to do it. But there's so many channels right now where there's just authentic, real like game commentary. Shout out to my boy Clocked It. He's one of them. Or just guys trying to put on the show. I mean, I'm just going to shout out all my guys here. Shout out to Robert of Gaming With Me. He puts a lot of work into his videos and stuff, and it's like he's putting on a show, not unlike the Mizzah Tee show, where he's doing all these different segments and he's live streaming and all this stuff. And I feel like there are people that are just so fake. I mean, unbelievably fake that, are getting traction and getting views and getting people to run to their channel. Just like, is it just something in us that we just gravitate to fakeness? Like we don't even realize it, that we just like fraudulence. I wonder if there's something just in the human psyche. Maybe that's why, a lot of us are really susceptible to con men or con women, or just people that are obviously frauds to everybody else. Like I said, I'm a really good judge of character. I can read people like that. That's one of my my most cherished attributes that friends come to me with. My wife, she I can tell her right away, because she'll meet somebody that she thinks is going to be a good friend for her, and I'm like, nope. And every time, literally every time, I'm right about that. It looks really good in the beginning. They're, her and this other lady are friends, and then not long before, the facade washes away, the fraudulence of that person washes away, and they become who I always felt they were. I don't know if that's just a factor of being born and bred in the city. I'm a city boy, and I'm used to just people feeding you bullshit all the time, and I can read people that way. But it's really easy for me to see bullshit, especially because I do have a set of skills related to video production and all this stuff, and I know what goes into it, and I know when people are just feeding you a line of nonsense, and it happens a lot. It happens a lot here. I'm gonna keep doing the things that I do the way I do them, and hopefully I can break through, because like I said, there are channels that have if you will, broken through. They haven't great crazy success, but they have pretty strong followings. I've built up a tiny little following that's pretty hardcore, if you will, that I can count on, and hopefully I can grow from that. But the algorithm is based on kind of fakeness anyways, just like bubble stuff. So if you watch a certain type of person, then the algorithm will feed you more types of people like that. And so if you watch fake people, the algorithm will just keep feeding you fake shit all over and over again. And so you won't be able to, it's hard to break through. And that's what I don't like about the new YouTube. It's so strongly algorithm based. And so you don't get outside of that bubble and see, oh yeah, that's really good. I watch a lot of different types of things on YouTube, so I always get really different types of videos. I'm never fed a certain type of video, which I love. But if you just watch a certain type of video all the time, or types of people all the time, that's all you're going to get is fake nonsense. And it's really unfortunate. So we have to demand better as an audience. Things don't automatically get better. We have to demand better. And so let's do that. Let's demand better in our entertainment, if you will. But yeah, I can't come on here and talk like a game show host and, do every little thing that I'm supposed to do as a YouTuber. It's inauthentic to me. And it's just so lame. It's watching so many people do the same thing is laughable. It's like what I hate about music. That's why I don't like music today, or hip hop anyway. It's because everything is so similar sounding. I grew up in the 90s where everything was like, yeah, you had a couple guys, some guy would hit this, doing this thing, and another guy would copy that. But it was all about, what's your thing? What can you do that's different that make you stand out? And it was so eclectic. There were so many types of music, so many types of hip hop even. Just, it was refreshing. And hopefully we can get back to that. We got to get away from this computer-based, algorithm-based nonsense that puts everybody in their little bubbles, and they're just reinforced garbage. They're just reinforced with the stuff that they, want to hear, and not getting the stuff that they need to hear. So, yeah, that's my rant. I'm not going to capitalize the rant or anything, because apparently some people think that helps you. And the algorithm, you put rant in a big, it's so corny. It's so lame. But yeah, that's it for this video. Hope you guys watch it. Make sure you subscribe if you haven't already. Hit the like button, hit that notification bell, all that good stuff. I will tell you to do that stuff. But thank you guys again for watching and listening. And now, see you folks next time. Peace out.